Hello, everyone, and good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're joining from, and welcome to the Commonwealth Shared webinar. So I'll be sharing my screen right now. If you can hear me, please kindly. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right. Hmm. Okay, without wasting time, I'll just be going like through the webinar structure and the program that we have highlighted for today. So this is like the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, and we'll be talking about how to go through the application process, and we have all of this prepared for you guys. And okay, so this is the order of program. We'll be doing the introduction right now, whereby I'll be running through what you will be expecting in today's webinar. And we have the introductory parts, we have the scholarship overview, which will be held by the first speaker. How to apply will be held by Samuel, and all of this. So these are the speakers that I'll be having today. Myself, Comfort Adegbin, will be the moderator, and I'm currently a master's student studying sustainable agriculture at the University of Padova, Italy. And in 2021, I was awarded the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, and I rounded up at the University of Chester in 2022. So Samuel also would be speaking today. He's also a graduate of the Masters of Biotechnology from the University of Chester through the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. And our second speaker, who is Mercy Ojetunde, she's a PhD student currently at the West Virginia University in the United States, and she was also a Commonwealth scholar in 2021 when she graduated in 2022. So the first talk in the scholarship webinar today will be the overview of the scholarship. What exactly is the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship? So for anyone who has never heard of this scholarship, I know that a lot of us and quite a number of us must have heard, because if not, you won't be in this webinar and trying to learn how to like apply. So, but if you're currently here and you want to know like the basics about the scholarship. So this first section will be telling you about what, where, and through who is eligible for the scholarship, what countries, what if you're joining from like another country, maybe you want to know if you're eligible, and what exactly does this scholarship offer, what are the general conditions attached to getting the scholarship, and what are the selection criteria. And the speaker that will be taking care of this particular section is Mercy Ojetunde. And in the second talk, we'll be talking about how to apply. You need to like know how to navigate through the website, how to register, how to find the course and the university, the documents you'll be needing to apply for the scholarship, and how to complete the application form. And when you're probably confused, where exactly do you need to like find the right information? So Samuel will be walking you through this particular section. And the third talk is how to write the essays. So we have like different sections for the essays, and we have the development impact, the proposed study in the UK, the key things to note while writing this, and what Mercy will be telling you in the course of this section. And to also write the essay, like we have other sections that include the career plans, the personal statements, the voluntary and leadership experience, and every key thing that you need to note while writing this, Samuel would also be walking you through. And after all of this section, you would have answers to your questions. You'll be allowed to ask questions through the chat, and Samuel, Mercy, and myself will be trying to like provide answers to these questions. So from now and through the section, you can just drop your questions in the chat. I will try to compile them, while the section is going on. And yeah, so that is basically what we'll be going through. So without wasting time, I'll stop sharing my screen now. I'll be inviting Mercy to start with the first section. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone. I'm sorry. Yeah. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Okay. So, good afternoon, everybody. So, Mercy, like Comfort has rightly said, and yeah, I'll be talking about the Commonwealth shared scholarship application. The deadline is on the 14th of this month, so I think you should start wrapping up your documents and all that. So looking at the Commonwealth scholarship scheme, we have 8 of them that are being funded by the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office. So, and these Commonwealth scholarships, are for students across the Commonwealth nation. So these, and we have, like I said, we have 8 different Commonwealth scholarship, of which the Commonwealth shared is one of them. And when I tell people, when you're thinking about the Commonwealth scholarships, you should think about the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs. And the purpose of this scholarship is to contribute to development needs of the Commonwealth countries by providing training for skilled and qualified professionals and academics who would not otherwise have been able to study in the United Kingdom, except, for the scholarship. So, and then let's talk about who can apply. So this Commonwealth Shared Scholarship is one of the 3 master's programs that is being offered by the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission. And the program, the award is for 12 months. And for those that can apply, they are those that maybe just concluded their undergrad and they are looking forward to, proceeding to a master's program. Yeah, minimum of 2-1, even though I heard someone said it's grade centric. I think they place more priority on people who graduated with first class and all that. But then if you graduated with a 2-1, this scholarship is for you. You can try it. So, and then some of these things I'll be reading here is also on the website, of which I've attached the link here. So, and also for those that can apply, also you should be able to meet the eligibility criteria before you can apply for this scholarship. So an applicant the application is also from the least developed and middle income countries who has not studied for a year or more in a high income country. So for you to apply for this scholarship, you must have not studied in a developed country, like maybe United States or Canada or something. They are looking for people who have the brains, but they don't have the means to study. Do you understand? So we have to keep that in mind. And then when looking at the documents needed for the scholarship, you want to think international passport. If you are thinking about scholarship at all, make sure that you have an international passport. And then you must have a student copy of a transcript. I tell people you don't need to be going about with I need to apply for official transcript. You should have a copy of your student transcript, and then you scan it, have a PDF for that. And when you're applying for scholarships or for funding or for any program, you can use that PDF, copy. until they now, maybe when you now get the admission, they now request, oh, you have to submit an official transfer. Then you are now good to like, okay, start the processing with your institution. So then you also need your degree certificate. Then scholarship essay is very important. Then recommendation letter, admission letter, not compulsory, because I think it's after the Commonwealth scholarship, after they might have awarded you, like after they have notified you, oh, you're being considered for this scholarship, we will need reference letters. That is when you can now reach out to your don't not reach out. You must have reached out to them that, oh, I'm applying for this and I need reference letter. So when Commonwealth get back to you as regards to your award, then you can now remind them, please, I will need you to submit a reference letter for this scholarship. And then I always tell people there's no limit to the number of schools you can apply to for the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, because these guys don't know you. You don't need to, it's not like the Commonwealth Masters that you like, oh, I need to apply to an agency. Do you get? And some persons use this person connection, those kind of thing. But for the Commonwealth Share, it's between the UK school and CSC. So you have to submit to us, because these people don't know you, they will only read your essays. So you have to submit to as many schools as possible. I know somebody then told me that it submitted like up to 30 applications. So it's very possible. It's possible to submit even more than 30 applications if you can't do it anyways. So what are the benefits of the scholarship? Financial support, it's like they pick you from grass. It's from grass to grace, like what a friend of mine will say. So you don't have anything, you don't have anything to worry about when it comes to the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, because they'll take care of your visa, they take care of your airfare, even if you have to spend money for maybe tests, like then we did COVID tests and all that, and Commonwealth refunded the money to us. Even if you have to take the TB test too, because yes, you have to take the tuberculosis test, they will refund that money to you. So, warm clothing, living allowance. If you look at my background, you're going to get the money in pounds, So, and then you have exposure to the abroad teaching and learning style, improved learning, networking, new culture and independence, and then application opens annually. Yeah, like I said earlier before I started this, it's the deadline is on the 14th of this month. So you want to make sure that you meet up with the deadline. So, and how to apply, I know someone is going to talk more about this, but I've included links. So for the Commonwealth Share Scholarship, you don't just go to the website and apply. You have to look at schools that are eligible, like schools that are participating, in the scholarship for that year. So the links have been attached here, and then look at the approved courses, because it's not all courses that we, get the Commonwealth scholarship thing. So you have to look at those approved courses and those universities. If you think that the course you want to study is part of those that will be, receiving funding, then you can apply for it. So, and then selection criteria, academic merit, quality of research proposal, potential impact on development of the, like I said earlier, you have to think the 17 sustainable development goals. Whatever you're writing should not pass that. Yeah. So, and then looking at the selection criteria, this is a old selection criteria. I don't know, I think someone will also talk about this, but I've included this, that these are what they look at. Like I said, academic merit, you want to look at research proposal for those that are going into the doctoral program, of which we are not going to talk about here. We are actually talking about the master's program. And then I said, you have to make sure that you think the 17 sustainable development goals. They want to, okay, so what impact do you want to make after getting this master's degree? And then it must be within the confines of the SDGs. So, general conditions for this award: candidates will be selected for an award based on the plan of study outlined on the application form, which is not expected to change significantly. So all this is also, like, everything here is available on the website, and you can look at the website to read more about the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. And then you're also expected to be in the UK during your award. You shouldn't travel. If you have to travel for something, you have to let CSC know about it. Yeah. And then because they will pay you stipend and everything, you don't need to work. You understand? You don't need to work. So yeah, and these are the 17 sustainable development goals. I think I'm going to hand over to the next person. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mercy. I'm sure Samuel is quite ready now. And maybe if you could stop sharing your screen.
I'll do that.
Yeah, thank you so much. As I said earlier, if you have questions, I've been receiving some questions in the chat box. So keep dropping your questions and, while we go ahead with the webinar. Thank you. Samuel, whenever you're ready, you could just start sharing your screen and start talking.
Okay, I think I was muted then. Hello, can you hear me okay? Okay, that's fine. Good day everyone. You're welcome to this noble webinar. The introduction has already been made, so I'll just go straight to what I need to talk about today. So the first part of what I'm to talk about today is how to apply, and note that these views that will be shared here are obviously the recommendation that were obtained from the website of the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission for this year. So first of all, I want just in case you've not registered yet or you've not started registering, I just gave you how to display the look of the website, how it looks like when you're applying for the scholarship, and I've attached the link. Maybe at the end of this webinar, I should share maybe a link to the document so you can access all the links that are attached there. So this is what the website looks like. So you don't go to maybe a scammed website or a website that is fake. Then in terms of finding a course and a university, first of all, I'd like you to understand that this is a Commonwealth shared scholarship, and because of that, we have like eligible courses and host institutions like in the UK. So they have like courses they want to fund in partnership with the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission, and they have respective universities. So first of all, I think you should have a course in mind you want to study. Obviously, that's the start of the whole of this process. So if you obviously have a course that you want to study, so you could go to this link. I've attached the link to the eligible courses and the host institutions, so you'll be able to see, okay, whether your course of interest is among the advertised courses. So if it's among, then that's the first step to go. If it's not among the courses and you are not looking at related courses, then I don't think you should just apply for any program, because they're only fund programs that are advertised. Then secondly, I need you to understand that one important aspect of this application, which is admission. So like I've had previous experiences with people that after submitting a very good application for the scholarship, they they fall short in applying, meeting the requirement for admission, and they are obviously kicked out of the process. So I'll love each and every one that is part of this call to ensure that they look at the school, the specific school, and the program requirements in order to apply for admission, and to also ensure that you put in a strong application for the admission too, because obviously the school is in charge of nominating candidates. So a whole lot of decisions are left with the school. So I think you should put in your best to put in a strong application for your admission. And apart from that, there are also schools that have specific requirements for like scholarship applicants. Like I think the University of Chester, at the time I applied, we had to submit a separate essay which was 500 words during application for admission to indicate our interest in the scholarship. So you need to look at the school's website to also see if there's a specific requirement for applicants, so you don't miss out on that. And in terms of that, I also check the school to see if they have like a deadline, because I think even the school I applied to, they had a deadline for for admission application, which was the same with that of the scholarship. So you should check all of that to be sure you're up to speed with the process. Then in looking for the course, since you've discovered or you found the course you are looking for, that you want to apply for, you can do a quick Google search about the course and the program at the university. For example, let's say you are looking at applying for MSc Biotechnology, and you found that MSc Biotechnology at the University of Chester is an eligible course. So how do you get to the school's website? So you can just do a quick search like MSc Biotechnology, University of Chester, so you can access it. But sometimes some people run into risk of like scammed websites that try to mimic the original website of the school. So it's recommended you use some other search tools. Like if you go to Study UK and postgrad.com, you can just type in the course like MSc Biotechnology, for example. Then it will bring out a list of schools and the program. So you can just select um, the school that you are looking for. So it will take you directly to the program website, so you don't fall into scam. Then also, if you want to consider like you want to compare the courses that you've got, for example, MSc Biotechnology, maybe across different universities, can use Discover Uni. Sorry about that. Then for the research excellence framework, you can use that to check about the quality of research that is ongoing in a particular school that you are looking at. So that's about looking for a course and the university. Then in terms of the documents that are required, for specifically, there are different kind of documents when you are talking about admission, and that's separate from the scholarship. So if you are looking at admission, obviously if you go to the school's web page, you'll be able to see the list of documents they require, like your proof of identification, the personal statement or motivation letter, as the case may be, academic CV and all of that. But for this scholarship, you just have basically three documents we are looking at. First of all, that's at the point of application. You need to prove like your citizenship or your refugee status within like an eligible Commonwealth country, and this should carry like your photograph, date of birth, and your country of citizenship, which preferably, as stated on the website, the passport, international passport, what you call that, or national ID, and this should be a single file. So you also need your full transcript of higher education qualification. So if you've done like a BSc and an MSc, so you need to compile all of those transcripts within a single file and for your submission. Then you also need your university degree certificate, and which should also be a single file, just in case you've done bachelor's degree and you've done a master's degree. So you need to compile all of this as one. Then one thing you need to also note is that there are basically the file formats accepted, PDF and JPEG files, and it's recommended that each of the documents should not exceed 5 megabytes size for submission. Then in completing the application form, I'll walk you briefly through the different phases as I stated it, like phases of that does not necessarily mean steps, but different phases of application from sign up to the end. And the first phase is all about like registering your account, and I've attached the link. So if you have access to this document, you can just click directly and to take you there. So you just input your nationality, which you obviously select from the drop down menu. Then afterwards you click on next, and it will take you to where you have to sign up. So if you are a returning user, obviously you can just put in your details, but since you are creating an account, you just click on next and input your details and you just sign in. Then the third part of it involves selecting your program. So if you see it's I'm giving you like a graphical view so you know how the website looks like, so you know if you're in the wrong one or not. Then you just select the appropriate CSE team um, from the drop down menu. Then you also select the school and the program. All of this they have already been automated, such that if you select, for example, here science and technology for development, that's one of the CSE team. So under the university and course, you see like a list of courses that are under addressing that team, so you don't need to start searching all over. Then the next phase will be your eligibility. So you'll be asked if you meet the application, the academic requirement. So you have to choose yes, obviously. If you meet, why not? Then you go on to include your personal details like your name and contact address. Then the next part involves like inputting your academic records, and this talks about inputting the institution you've attended, the country, and what the duration for your program was. So you just input all of that. If you've done a bachelor's degree and you've done a master's degree, mind you, they are concerned about just your high education record. So that's your bachelor's degree. So you don't need all of maybe pre bachelor's program like high school and all of that. You don't need all of that here. Then in terms of the next phase involves you to input publications you have, but just in case you don't have publications, it's not a problem. It's not a problem really. It's just there to get all your information. Yeah, most people I know that did apply, they did not have publication, so that should not deter you in any way. Then if you had like an award, or you've received a prize before, so you can just include them here too. Then the next part is about your employment history, and that you have to input maybe where you worked previously, and maybe just in case you've not it mustn't be like an official employment per se, maybe you're paid or not. So maybe if it's an experience, maybe you did an internship, or so you can just include them in this column. the employment, the employer's name, like which organization you work, what role you were taking up, and the the timeline for that, and your key responsibilities. Then the other part of it involves you inputting the details of your referees. So like their name, job title, email address. And here I need to let you know that you need to do this meticulously, because when you are being nominated, they will obviously contact your referees, and this information, they will contact them based on the information you gave them here. So you need to do um input it without like errors, so you don't shoot yourself in the leg when the time comes. Then, and again, there you require three referees, basically um two from academic line, and one maybe a personal, that knows you personally or from your workplace. Then the other part of completing application form is the essay section, and this part um, is divided into like four different parts, which the first one has to do with the development impact essays, which we'll go into shortly. Then the other part has to do with like the proposed study plan while you're in the UK, and career plans as well. Then the last part of it has to do with your personal statement, as well as the voluntary and leadership experience you've got. Then this part of the application has to do with providing the documents which are required, like have been stated initially, your international passport or ID, national ID, and your scan of transcript, as well as your certificate, as your bachelor's degree certificate. Then the other part, I think towards the last part of the application, has to do with equity and diversity monitoring, just to get details about you, where you're from, so they know the level of inclusion, because that's a big deal, the foreign um, the Western country. So they just have to get their data. Um, that's the basic use for that. Then the last part has to do with the checklists and confirmation, just to be sure that you've obviously submitted all that's required, and you've provided your consent for that, basically. Then I think this part, I get this question a lot, so I tried to include it. So in case you are making more than one application, you don't need to open or have different accounts for this particular application. You can just have one. Then if you click on the first um link for the application, when you want to sign up, you can just log in using your account. Then it will take you to this part where you see start new, so you can just select start new and begin a fresh application. So like you can see clearly here, the previous application have been made. Then you can just start new and keep doing that up to the number of times that you want to. Then in terms of inquiry, and like the useful contacts for this, just in case you have issues with or you have inquiries to make um relating to this scholarship. Basically, the first point of contact will be the host university, and I've provided a link um, showing all the universities involved and their contact details, their email address, and all of that, so you can access them. So just in case you have any of that, you can reach out to them. Then secondly, the second link has to do with frequently asked questions that have been answered by the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission themselves. So you can have a read through to see if any of the pending questions have been answered. Then if you want information about the Commonwealth scholarship or fellowship generally, I've also imputed this link. Then the final one has to do with if you want to make direct inquiries or channel your queries to the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission themselves, you can use the last link, which directs you to a form which you can fill, but it's recommended and is advised by them that you should go through all of these links to see if your questions are being answered before reaching out to them, because they want specific and unique questions or queries that might not have been answered previously. So I'll pause here so the next speaker can continue. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Samuel. God bless you. So, without wasting time, we'll be going to the next section, which would be talking about how to write the essays. So, Mercy will be dealing with the first section of the essay writing part. So, yeah, you can go ahead, please, Mercy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. So I'll be talking about the developmental impact essays. So like I said, the CSC development teams, we have 6 of them. We have 6 CSC development teams. So whatever you're writing is within these teams. So you can pick one, like you're in the science class, or maybe you're studying microbiology, or you're studying public health, or not you're studying because you've graduated, you want to go for a master's program. So let's say you're a graduate of microbiology or a graduate of public health, and you're looking into the maybe health space, microbiology, for instance, you're looking into antimicrobial resistance. That falls under science and technology for development. So you have to think about your interests and where this interest can fit in, looking at the 6 years. Hello, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. What?
We can see your screen clearly.
Yes, you can see your screen.
Okay, somebody said they cannot see it. Okay. So, priority is given to applicants whose interests are relevant to the CSC development teams. So, looking at the essay writing part, so the number one question here is, how does your proposed study relate to development issues at the global, national, and local level, and how it also relates to, development is connected to your chosen CSC team and the wider sector. And this is 200 words. So one thing I want you to note is that you should not write above 200. You can write below, but not above 200. So
sorry, can you mute yourself?
So how does your proposed study relate to? So you have to think about, so what is the problem? Think about, things like the global interest, think about the national interest. So what is happening globally? I know there was a time that, COVID was all around and all that, and you're thinking maybe as someone who is going into the biomedical science field or going to study for a master's in maybe biomedical science, biological science, you're thinking, okay, so how can I help to solve this problem? So you have to be thinking of things that you want to do, problems you want to solve, and then the focus, like I said, is on the SDGs. And if you look at the 17 SDGs, we have good health and well-being, we have no poverty, you have gender equality, quality education, and all that. So you have to look at all these things and see how your research interest relates to these 17 development goals. You can just pick one and talk about it. So it's very easy for those in sciences. Yes, you're looking at, oh, this is a global menace, or this is a pandemic, or this is a problem that is ongoing. How can we solve this problem? So you have to think, talk about things of global interest, talk about things of national trends, like, okay, so what is not happening in Nigeria? What is happening in Africa as a whole, or what is happening? So you have to like think, so what are the problems? Oh, malaria is here. How can we solve the issue of malaria in Nigeria? How can we solve the issue of malaria in Kenya? Something like that. So, and then you can mention, credible sources like World Health Organization. According to the World Health Organization, so is the third leading cause of death globally, and nothing has been done to be able to, reduce the incidence rate of this disease, and blah 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 blah. Sorry, and then you have to like, yes, use those credible sources to like back up your claim, and then you now start your story. Talk about your personal experiences. Maybe, for example, you had somebody who died of maybe COVID, or someone who died of an infectious disease, and just you have to. I tell people, when you're writing essays, you have to learn the art of storytelling. You should be able to like constructively write your story, and let it make sense. So you can mention if you have any personal experiences, maybe a cousin or a friend that died of this, or that was hospitalized for an infectious disease that they couldn't find solution to, or someone that is in a problem right now. I'm not saying that you should write it, and put it to the face, but then you're writing a story. So you have to make sure that it is clear and specific. And then you can now talk about knowledge gaps. So what is the gap there? Okay, so these people are dying of this because there is lack of this, because there is that, this has not been out, there is no vaccine for this, or they need more, treatment measures for this. So identify knowledge gaps and connect that to your story. And then why you need, then you now have to talk about, so you now have to talk about why you need the master's degree, why you need to be sponsored, why you need to garner those skills. Then talk about, okay, so because of this and that, I'm applying for, I intend to to apply for a master's program at the University of Chester, to be able to garner the skills, blah blah blah, to help me contribute to solving this problem in this sphere, something like that. So connect your interest, like I said, to the CSC teams. Don't forget that. Science and technology, connect your interest to that, and tell a very good story. So how do you now intend to apply your new skills? And that's another question. How do you intend to apply your new skills and qualifications when you return home? Because they'll tell you have to go back to you have to go back to your country, not Nigeria necessarily, but you have to go back to your home country to implement all that you have written, right? So how do you not intend to do that? So you can maybe choose a sector and say, okay, I'm looking at maybe the health sector, for example, because you're maybe a public health scientist, and maybe you study public health, something management thing, in maybe during your master's program, or you intend to do that. Then you now say that, okay, I'm choosing this sector where my skills will be needed, maybe in the health space. I'll be working for this particular NGO, blah blah blah. So you have to, like I also tell people, you have to be specific be specific in your essays. You can mention, health sectors, maybe in the hospital or research institute. Just be specific that, okay, this is where my skills are. I'll be collaborating with researchers to write grants, and also to, support, to help solve this issue, these global health problems that you have stated earlier. So, and then you also need to talk about the skills that you need to acquire to be able to accomplish that goal, to be able to solve that problem. And it's easy to go to the school's website, look at the program you're looking forward to applying to, and then look at their course modules and everything, and the skills that you're gonna when you study that program. So some of all this information you can get on the school's website, you can get on Google, and also ask questions. So then mention, like I said, you have to be very specific. How do you intend to use those skills to contribute to solving the problem you have stated earlier? So, and number 3, what do you expect will change in development terms following your studies? So what do you expect? So what are the outcomes? Yes, you have not done it. Maybe yes, you're just right. It's like you're writing the proposal, you're writing a grant, and you tell them, okay, this is what I've done, but I need money to do this and do that and do that to be able to get this so results. This is our proposed result. So what are the outcomes? Like, what are the outcomes you aim to achieve? That's another prompt. You can say, okay, example could be maybe increase the number of informative publications in this area, attract grants to carry out research. You have to be very specific about your outcomes. Then the time frame for this implementation, you can measure, you can break that down, maybe short term, medium term, long term. You can say within the first few months of my arrival back to the country, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll host a workshop, collaborate with institutions. If yours is about quality education, if yours is all about development, so you can say I'll collaborate with public or private institution, universities to organize a workshop, conferences that undergraduate students we earn from, we gain knowledge and ideas from, something like that. So talk about the medium term, maybe within 6 months, like after 6 months of your stay in your country, maybe you would have achieved this and all that, or this is what you would do. So who will be the beneficiaries? For example, if you're talking about research, if you're talking about research, for example, or something that has to do with science, you can talk about the populace. You can say, okay, maybe the people in the rural area. Just make sure that you're specific about what you're saying. So it could be for those into quality education, you can say undergraduate students, research professors, or because you intend to train people. Do you understand? Maybe organize a training that can help researchers in this particular field. Researchers could also be your maybe young investigators. Researchers could also be could also be one of your beneficiaries. So, and what I always say is that you're being helped, right, to help other people. So you have to think about those people that your work will help to be able to answer this prompt. Yeah. So how do the impact of your work, sorry, that should be a mistake. How will the impact of your work be best measured? So you have to tell them, okay, so my work will be measured best by the number of graduates. For example, you're looking at quality education, graduates, with knowledge of biomedical, research writing, or you're looking at science, my research will be measured based on the number of manuscripts that I've published, blah, blah, blah. So you have to think. When you're writing your essays, you have to, like I said, you have to think, you have to write constructively and make sure that you are not, telling lies in it. Think wild, think wide, think, like you really want to solve a problem. Think like you're writing a grant for money, to carry out a research. So you have to mention the results you hope to get after the implementation of your project. Yes, you are still writing for application, right? You've not even done anything, but then you're thinking about the future, that, okay, so what will be the outcome eventually if I'm able to do this? So now, going to the proposed study in the UK, study outline, you have to provide tell you to provide a short outline of your proposed study or research. And this should be written for an audience with no prior knowledge of the subject and must not be overly technical. So what this is all about is that you're writing, I know in a grant session, they will tell you to write, in a layman language. Do you get? Because you don't know who will be reading your grant. There are a lot of people that have this money, but maybe they are not really vast in your field, but they have the money to sponsor research. They like anything research, but they don't really know how to go about it, but they have the money. So those people like that, you want to make sure they understand what your research is all about. So same thing as like you're writing essay. This is something you're writing to get a scholarship. You get 40,000 pounds, you get 45,000 £6,000 to study, in the UK for a master's program. You need the money, right? So you want to write well to be able to convince your sponsors that yes, you are the best candidate for this award. So you have to mention the course you intend to study and the school, talk about the modules, course content of that program, and then you talk about the techniques. All this you can find. I always tell people, just go back to the school website. But mind you, don't go and just copy and paste directly. You have to be creative. You have to be constructive in your writing also. So mention your research area. If you're interested in antibiotic resistance, talk about it. And maybe you could link that to, okay, your master's thesis, maybe this is what you're proposing to do, during as your research during your master's. So make sure you write a very good story, and make sure that it is not overly technical. You write it in words that are simple and easy to understand, and then link the story to the problems you have raised initially. Make sure you follow that. Don't say, I want to talk, I'll be dealing with antibiotic resistance and all that, and then you now come to fishery, or you come to forestry. I intend to study a course in forestry to help me know how to do this. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you're consistent. And if you look at all the prompts, it's like they're asking you the same question because they want to test your consistency. They want to see if you really know what you're doing. Yeah. So the person outside your field should understand what you intend to do. So I'm looking at this other part of the essay. You have to, provide a detailed plan of this selection panel. We want to understand why you have selected your proposed course and university. So why have you chosen that school? Why have you even chosen to study in the UK at first? You want to say that, oh, maybe schools in the UK are, highly ranked, blah, blah, blah. You want to talk about that. You want to talk about the goodies in the UK, add that, or major highlights, that will give you some point. And then you now talk about the school. So why have you chosen the school? Go to the school's website. You see a lot of information about. Go to your program. You see a lot of information about your program and the skills, everything. Talk about it. So talk about the university, major reasons why you've chosen the school. You can talk about the ranking. Oh, my school is the 3rd ranked according to QS ranking. My school is this and that. You can also cite some, I know there are some sites that that help with this ranking thing. So you can also talk about your course ranking too. Talk about the skills you intend to learn. Like I said, go back to the website, to the school's website. Look at your program. Look at everything that is under your program, the courses and the course module, everything, the skills that you learn and everything. Add that to your essay. Write creatively. And then talk about the skills you intend to learn, how the skills acquired will help solve that problem. If you have identified any mentor, for example, there are some schools that we have names of mentors like faculty members. If you've identified any of them, you can even include that. That's okay. I found the work of this person interesting. Is working on this and that of Professor blah blah blah. Is working on this and that, and I intend this interest aligns with mine, and this is what I intend to do. You have to write a good story. And then how will the chosen course contribute to solving the problem you've stated? So, and then you now talk about, okay, this course will help me garner these social skills, and then I'm able to do this, I'm able to do that. Then you can also talk about a proposed, thesis topic and relate, and how that relates to the problem. So like I said, you have to be very consistent when writing your essays and be creative. Be prepared, don't be distracted. And then you have to, like I said, consistency is the key. Don't start with science and technology and then you're moving to quality education. Do you get? So you can write for different teams. Let's say you're applying to 20 schools or 30 schools. You can say, okay, I'm interested in science and education, I'm interested in quality education, or I'm interested in I'm interested in which other one? I'm interested in global prosperity, or I'm interested in strengthening health systems and capacity. You can write essays that cuts across these areas, but in one particular essay, you're talking about all your interests, everything is in alignment with a particular theme. Yeah, don't forget that. So you can write 10 essays and maybe you're just so specific or particular about just one theme, it's fine. Or you can write 10 essays and say, okay, I'll be looking at science and technology and also looking at strengthening health capacity, health systems and capacity. So you want to make sure that you are not mixing things up and you're not confused. So I think yeah, and what I also say, how can you win this scholarship? You need a good academic record, have relevant research or work experiences. Like I tell, just take internship positions. Now you cannot take internship positions. You have to prepare your document based on what you have done. Include publications if you can, like Samuel said, and write a constructive and well-written essay. Be specific and show clarity of intentions in your essay. Take home message from my end is that you have to be positive, you have to be intentional about this application because you're writing a lot of essays. But if you're not motivated, if you're not intentional, you might just be like, oh, this thing is taking so much time. I remember when I was writing mine and I had to sit down for long to write review and everything. And then you have to trust the process, put in the effort, review your essays all over and over again. And yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mercy. You guys should show your gratitude and appreciation in the comment section. She has really done a good job with the first section of the essays. So Samuel would be coming on board yet again to talk about the career plans, the personal development, the voluntary and leadership parts of the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship application. Thank you, Samuel. You can please go ahead.
Can you see my slides?
Yes, Samuel,
Okay.
we can.
That's fine. That's fine. Thank you. Okay. You're welcome back to the last segment of my part here in terms of the essay, writing the essays part two, and obviously, like I said, a caveat. These views are views that obviously emanate from the recommendations from the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission application website, and from my personal experience and the experiences of others too. So before I go into talking about the specific essays to write from my end, I would wish to give some general essay guidelines. First of all, I want you to understand that you should before I go on to talk about the essay guideline, I want you to understand the entirety of this application, and the essay is just like a map. It's like a story you are telling from start to finish. So the CS is trying to prompt you, just like there's something they say, I want to remove what is inside of you. So that's why they have lots of essays, and you see some of them are very related. Why you summarize in one, you go into more detailed analysis or more detailed description in the other. So they just want to see how passionate you are about that problem you are in, you have intention of contributing to the solution, and how you are ready for it. So if you understand this, it will be easier for you to write all along. So whenever you're writing, keep uh, the problem you intend to contribute like towards the solution in mind, so you don't get drifted away. Because if you have that in mind, then all your essays should reflect that you are passionate about that issue from start to finish. That's just the simplest advice I have. Then in writing your essays, avoid generic statements. Be specific about what you intend to do. So even when they ask you for career plans, for developmental impact, all of that, be very specific and avoid generic statement. And apart from that, people assessing your application might not be in your field, to be honest. So you need to avoid some field related jargons and use simpler everyday language in relating your ideas. Then another part I would want you to understand is that it's very important to use data to like evidence. For example, if you are talking about a problem and you say a problem is serious, how serious is that problem? They don't understand seriousness of problem by you telling them it's serious. So you can give them data from very from reputable website or from organizations that are into that area. For example, maybe you are looking at public health issues, then you can be looking at data from the CDC, from the World Health Organization, and all of that. So it's very important to always use data to evidence that. And in terms of your impact too, if you are talking about an impact, you should try to quantify as much as possible. Then in trying to describe engagement, for example, maybe personal statements, or maybe some volunteering you've done, or maybe leadership experience or something you've done, if you want to explain it, and ensure you use like the STAR approach. So the STAR approach meaning situation, task, action, and results. And this means explaining the background to like what situation you're facing, what needed to be done, and the step you took to address that, and the result that was achieved based on your action. So you need to explain it in this sequence in order for it to make a whole lot of sense. Then in terms of goals, you should ensure that your goals are smart. What do I mean by smart? It means the goal should be specific, talking about specifically what you want to achieve, and are they measurable? Can you measure them? Are they achievable? Like, are they realistic? Then in terms of being relevant, is it relevant to the problem you are trying to talk about or to write about? And obviously you should have specific timeline attached to it. Then another part want you to understand is that try as much as possible not to copy word for word. Even if you see an information somewhere, don't copy word for word. Try to rewrite that in trying and give allow yourself to give voice to the essay you are writing. So don't just copy an information and just paste somewhere. It is not going to tell well on you. Plagiarism is a serious case within academics, especially in developing countries. You don't want to be found doing that. Then also adhere to the word limits. And this is my personal recommendation, like use the British English writing style. And that's because it's always advisable to write in the writing style um, of the targeted audience that you're addressing. So if you're applying to maybe American schools or all of that, it's recommended you use American writing style. Then obviously applying to the Commonwealth scholarship, which is tenable in the UK. So it's advisable you use the British English writing style. But just in case you try to adopt another, just ensure there's consistency. So that's another thing. Then finally on this, I would like to say yourself, like put yourself out there, write exactly what you did. Don't try to box yourself, but in doing this, don't exaggerate or lie, because it can be very visible when you read statement that, "Oh, this is obviously a lie and this is not really achievable within this context." So always try to sell yourself, but don't exaggerate and lie. Then I'll go on. The career plans have three sections, obviously, three subsections. And the first of them, uh, this is like a general one that describe the skills that you expect to gain from the scholarship and your career plans once you return home afterwards. This is like the career plans question. Then what we are considering here is objective during the award. So one thing I would like um, for this essay is actually asking you to talk about specific maybe skills that you will get during this award. So, for example, if maybe you are looking at getting research skills while you are applying for the program, while you are studying for the program, so you could explain this, that okay, during my time while I'm studying, I will get so and so skills. And it's always important to always state how you are going to get that. So if you're looking at research skills, how within your program, is it during the point of during your course, or maybe you'll be going on maybe a part-time internship or something with an organization. So you need to state that here. Then if there are other things you can look at, maybe you want to improve on your leadership skills, you could talk about how you will engage in leadership. Even the CSE has a component where you can apply um, to like head groups and carry out some projects. You can talk about your interest in that. Then you can also look at collaboration. For example, if you are interested in, let's say, um, addressing public health problems like maybe let's say cancer, for example. So what it will be important to state in your objective the collaborative channels you might have within the UK. Maybe let's say you have interest in collaborating with researchers at Cancer Research UK or something like that. That shows that you have the problem still in your mind. Like I keep telling you, don't always let the problem out of your mind when writing. Keep the problem in view, because the whole entirety of all this is to just test how passionate you are. So if that could be one of your objectives. Or if you are looking at maybe if you are in agricultural line, maybe there might be an organization within the UK that is into that kind of activity. So you might say you want to maybe collaborate with the organization, uh, and you will obviously it's important to like state the name of the organization specifically, so they know that you know what you are saying. Obviously, then if you are maybe into tech, or let's say you have interest in expanding on maybe research in a particular area, you could maybe talk about how you are skilled maybe in in tech, and how you will leverage that tech to like form like a research group or something. So all of this just asking what objectives you aim to achieve within the time you are studying. And also try, like I said, try to link some of the objectives to the problem you intend contributing to a solution. Then state specifically how you are going to achieve this. Is it through collaboration, through networking, what networking opportunities you will explore, and all of that. So it's very important to do that. Then the next part of the career plan essay is trying to ask, okay, what are the career plans that you have in 5 years following the award? So this looks like more like a medium term kind of question. initially I think you've been asked somewhere what you intend doing following your your program. So this one is in like 5 years time. So here is important to state more robust plans that you have. For example, if you want to like work with specific organization within your country, let's say maybe if you are into maybe biomedical line, and you are into like research, trying to identify solutions to a particular problem, so you can state the organizations you intend to work with afterwards. Is it that after your program you will be eligible to work in those organizations, maybe as a research scientist, or maybe in R&D, or if it's an agricultural line, specific, try to mention specific organizations you intend working with. So if that's the plans you have, then you can also talk about if your line is into maybe you're talking about organizing long-term workshops to train or retrain based on, for example, let's say you're in agricultural line, and you feel your program will give you a leverage in terms of the skills and knowledge in an advanced method for that will help food safety, that will help in food safety. So you can talk about how you are going to try to share that knowledge, or involve in development of personnel within that field. So how are you going to do that? And what's the frequency of doing that? So if you are organizing webinar, are you looking at if you're organizing workshops, are you looking at annual workshops or biannual workshops? How frequent would that be within the next 5 years? So there are different options you can look at. Or are you looking at working with a non-governmental organization? And obviously you would have identified non-governmental organizations that are doing things in addressing that problem too within that area. So you have to mention some specific organizations, so they know you know what you are saying. So you want to work with this organization afterwards in order to address this problem. So those are the kind of things you are to look at in the medium term. Or do you intend going into maybe academia, you return to be like a lecturer in the university to impact this knowledge you've gotten to the younger generation, stuff like that. So you need to, and one of the things I also want you to understand that this, you are passionate about your home country and this problem. So try to tailor these career plans to be in your home country, because it doesn't make any sense if you say you are motivated or passionate about your home country and this problem, and your career plans you are describing something different, maybe something far away from the problem or even your home country. So it's always good you do this. Then in terms of the plans, you need to screen them through this criteria of the SMART approach. So are they smart? Like, is it specific? Is it measurable? Is it achievable? Is it relevant to the problem you are intending to um, profile solution to? And is it also time bound? You need to look at this. Look at this critically. Then, like I said, always mention organization. This shows it knows what you are doing. You can't just say, "Yeah, I will come back and I will partner with biomedical organization." What kind of organizations are you looking at? You can give specific names. If you are interested in maybe biomedical research, you can look. NIMA is there, and a couple of organizations which you can do. Then also don't forget to mention the beneficiaries in each case. So if you are talking about how you are going to train a set of people, you are to mention that target of those target beneficiaries. Is it directly affecting maybe patients? Is it directly affecting farmers? Is it directly affecting maybe students, or depending on which area you are looking at. Then the last part of the career plan has to do with your long-term career plan. Then this one, you need to be very ambitious. Show that you are very ambitious. So you can go over your community and even to the continent as large, or the world, or the globe, the you can extend it to the global front. So what long-term plans you have? So you can look at if you're into maybe biomedical research and all of that, you can talk about how by in your long term career you would have excelled, um, that you might be heading specific organizations within the continent. Maybe talk, for example, you are looking at CDC, or maybe even NAFDAC, or specific organizations you think will that is in your area of expertise and area of engagement. And don't forget, try to keep the problem in view. So in the long term, it means you are also consistent enough to keep addressing or contributing to the solution of that problem. So if you can also go as far as being ambitious and say, okay, maybe you are going to policy direction. So maybe policy implementation, or of in order to help also address that problem, coming up with great ideas to address that problem. Or you can even go into the fact that, okay, in the long term, maybe you'll be a professor within that field, and you'd have over the years maybe go into to nurture young students who will also be saddled with the responsibility of contributing to the solution of that problem. So you don't need to box yourself. You just need to allow your mind, so you can write long-term career plans that are very ambitious. Then another thing is, like I said, you can allow it to span your community, your country and continent, the world at large. Then you also need to screen them to see, is this specific enough? Is it measurable? Is it achievable? Is it relevant to this problem? And what timeline do will this be achieved? You need to look up all about that. Like I said initially, think outside the box. And remember to be community minded, because obviously the essence of all of these career plans and all of this to test your passion for the problem you want to solve within the community. Then in terms of personal statements, the you have been asked to summarize the ways in which your personal background has encouraged you to want to make an impact in home country. So specifically, I think this where people write a lot of stuff, but to be honest, these statements just simply ask you to identify like barriers to um education, which you have obviously um which you faced, and the barriers are what you did actually to surmount them, or to um, cushion the effect of those barriers still, and succeeding at the end of your education. That's just this. It's very black and white. It's straightforward, and basically there are different barriers you can look at. Maybe financial barriers. You must not dwell there. Um, you can also look at maybe family barriers. This is what I mean. Um, for example, you might have been facing maybe financial difficulty, which obviously affected was trying to affect your education. Then you come on to talk about ways in which you you've surmounted that barrier. So what are the specific things you did? Did you go on to maybe take on maybe side jobs, or you went on to learn a new skill that you used, or was this did you go on crowdfunding, something like that. All of that that helped you to surmount that barrier. So like I always say, you also use the STAR approach for this. So you are explaining the situation on ground, the what needed to be done, what you did as an action, and what it resulted into. So you need to keep that in mind. And it's also important to begin with like a very captivating story, or maybe a captivating sentence, maybe giving the summary of um, your principles in life and how you've obviously surmounted barriers or issues to in order to succeed. So it's very important you start strong. Then like I was also talking about, you can look at another thing, another barrier that you faced. Is it a family barrier kind of, or maybe a community barrier? Let's say within your family, you've had maybe lots of children or siblings, and uh, everyone could not go to school because uh, maybe because of financial problem, or maybe because of illness or something. So how you were able to surmount that barrier and at the end of it still excelled in your educational pursuit is also something you can talk about here. Then some maybe within the community, uh, or maybe within the family still, or let's say that community girls rarely go to school or something like that, but you'll be able to fight through that barrier and still went to school and excelled. So these are the things you need to be talking about here. And obviously, you need to talk about your background in terms of academics and your professional background, explaining what you studied and all of that. What guided your motivation for your study, and specific issues you've had, which you obviously addressed, or you which you obviously surmounted in order to achieve excellence within your study. Then you can also highlight at this point, I mean highlight because you have a separate section for volunteer and leadership experience, but you can talk about some extracurricular curricular activities that you perform, which were obviously targeted to the community, and how that have helped also. And you should also keep the problem in mind, so you can try to link this to the problem which you also want to solve. So maybe if within your community they've been facing issues of maybe specific health issues or specific problem, let's say agricultural problem, or maybe what do you call it, food food safety, or you're talking about um quality water and all of that. So you should also explain here how this happening is an occurrence within your community has challenged you, which you want to make it a positive change. Then, like I always said, reiterate the need to address the problem and why you're now coming for to study this the program you're coming for. Then the other segment has to do with voluntary and leadership experience. So and the question is like summarize the ways in which you have engaged in volunteer activities and the opportunity you've had to demonstrate leadership. So, like I always said, this is an experience. So, in explaining, you have to use the STAR approach, where you talk about the situation you found yourself, the specific tasks that needed to be achieved, what you did, and what results. What outcome um, emanated from your action. So here you have to talk about experiences within the scope of volunteer and leadership experience. But one of the things I want you to know is that leadership does not necessarily have to do with like a position, because I think a couple of people complain that, oh, I've not been a president before. I've not been a manager before, so I don't have leadership experience. But that's not true, because if you've actually been passionate about things you do and you've gone through different areas, even within a group, there might have been places where you demonstrated leadership, where you were able to motivate a group. That's leadership. Where you're able to help a group achieve a particular aim, that's leadership. So you can look at different areas. Even I know for people in Nigeria gone for service, maybe they've gone for their NYC experience and all of that. So even within that period, they might have done outreaches to communities, students, and all of that. So all of those experiences are what you can use, you can build on. And for these experiences, you don't necessarily doesn't necessarily have to do with the particular program you are going to study. If you have related experiences that are linked to the program you are going to study, or the problem you are intending to solve, then that's fine. You can use them. But if you don't, you can use other experiences, and you'll be able to draw on the fact that doing you having the ability to perform these volunteer and leadership experiences, you can also uh, you can also you are in a better position to also repeat same when given the opportunity. That's the idea behind it. So you it's also important to talk about, like for example, if you've been in a leadership role, an official leadership role, like the president or maybe the secretary or just something. So at the end of it, what is important is for you to talk about how you helped that team to achieve their desired outcome. So within that group. So that's the major thing. And don't just hide under uh, we and all. For example, maybe you are talking about what your team achieved. You shouldn't be using we and we all the time. We. So it's about what you achieve within the context of that group. So that's one thing I also want you to understand. Then you can have leadership and voluntary experience occurring simultaneously. So you might be volunteering and also leading, maybe serving as a leader within that voluntary experience. So there's no clear demarcation between voluntary and leadership experience here. So you don't need to say, okay, I have this section just for leadership, this section for you can explain them um, concurrently. That's what I mean. Then also try to mention specific organization and like groups that you've worked with, and obviously the beneficiaries, because the essence of every voluntary experience is to address or benefit a particular group. So you also need to include that and quantify your result as much as possible. So if you've worked within a non-governmental organization and you've performed a particular task, what results you achieved? Did you at the end of your maybe voluntary experience, did you reach maybe 100 or 50 or 10 beneficiaries? Like what were the outcomes, specific outcomes that you achieved in terms of data? You need to always quantify that. Like I said, don't hide under a team. So allow your experiences to shine. Don't just hide under and say we. You frequently use I and what you did to help that team. Then to not trivialize experiences, like I said initially. So even if you were maybe representing your department while you were in school, maybe as a course rep, if that's what you've got. You allow that experience to shine. Talk about the specific ways in which you have helped the student community, or and within your level, or if you are maybe faculty representative. It's not about the position per se. That's what I want to stick to your mind. It's not about the position, but how well you're able to demonstrate your your involvement within that team. Then the take home message. First of all, I'd like you to understand that the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship is development focus, as we've been talking. So you must, as of necessity, identify a particular problem, not problems. You can't solve all the problems. You need to be specific. So you must identify a particular problem relating to development that is affecting the development of your community or your country, and so you can know how to tailor your essays to address that problem. Then try to submit like strong application for both the scholarship and admission. So if you're writing submitting application for admission, also do it with due diligence, because obviously the school is part, they might use part of that to inform their decision of selection. Then the other thing I want you to understand is that look at the university. I can't emphasize this. I can't. The importance of this is way beyond what I can explain most time, because if you finish applying to the scholarship and you don't look at the specific requirement from the school, you might shoot yourself in the leg, and you might fall short and be disqualified. So try to reach out to the school to see the additional requirements, then try to conduct thorough research within that problem you want to solve, and give specific data to show you know what you are saying, and mention specific organizations when applying to. So at this point, I want to thank you for listening. It's been a long, long time so far, and I'll be open to any questions you've got. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Samuel. Thank you. You guys should use the chat box to express your thanks, to express your gratitude to Samuel, to Mercy. They've done a really good job. So right about now, we'll be going to the questions and answer section. And I have compiled some of the questions, but you guys can still drop more of them in the chat box. So I think the first question that is here is, will statement of results suffice in replacement for certificate, because my school is yet to provide a recent graduate certificate and it doesn't look like it will be ready anytime soon. So what do you think about that, Samuel?
I'm sorry, I think sorry, I was a bit lost.
Yeah, that's fine. Will statement of results suffice in
Yes, yes,
replacement of
yes.
certificates?
Yes,
Okay.
that's fine. In fact, I use statement of result. I just got my
Oh.
certificate last year. So it's
Okay, that's perfect. Okay, someone else said, if I'm applying to 3 schools, am I going to submit 3 applications to Commonwealth Scholarship? Definitely yes. So, and I would say in addition to that, ensure you check what the requirements of the individual universities entail, so you don't just waste your time like Samuel said. But depending on the number of university, that will be the equivalent number of applications you'll be making on the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship application website. Okay, can final year students apply for the scholarship? If yes, what will replace the school certificates? I think that's what Samuel just mentioned. So your school should be able to provide you with a notification of results, or a statement of results if you don't have the certificate. Can I still apply for Commonwealth Share Scholarship if I already applied for Commonwealth Scholarship through the federal government nomination agency? I would assume that's the Commonwealth Master Scholarship. If that's what you mean, definitely yes, There are two separate applications. You can still go ahead and apply for the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. And okay, yeah, and just to mention, the recording of this webinar will be provided and it's currently being streamed on YouTube on my YouTube channel, Moments with Comfort. But for all who registered, I should be able to send the link again so you can access the YouTube channel directly. And can one work while studying? Mercy, could you please talk about that?
So the Commonwealth, looking at the conditions, you cannot, work while, studying, because you'll be getting stipend. Yeah. So I think that's the conditions that have been stated should, give answers to your questions.
Thank you so much. And let me see the next question. If it is only one course that resonates with my career and academic goals, and only one university is in affiliation, should I still apply for as many as possible just for the chances? Samuel.
Okay, it depends on you really. So if you are talking about a specific course that you're interested in, then obviously you channel your energy to apply for that. But if you just want to apply randomly, I don't think that's you will give your best shot to that. So apply to the program that, except you have another problem that those programs will address and you're also interested, then it means you have multiple interests and you can apply for all of them and tailor all your applications separately to each of them.
That's very clear enough. Thank you so much, Samuel. Someone said I have two admissions, MSc Public Health, University of South Wales, MSc blah 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 blah. And I'm not sure what the question is after the two admission. I guess it just I guess I missed that. Okay, but there's another question that says, is it mandatory for the student to apply to the school before submitting application? I think Samuel mentioned that earlier, but could you just do a brief recap, Samuel?
Okay. It depends on the school's requirements. Like I told you, University of Chester. I know for sure if you apply University of Chester, you must apply at the same deadline with the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission. The Commonwealth Scholarship you're applying for. So let's say 14th is the deadline. It means you should have submitted admission application to by that 14th. It's always the same time and they have like a separate essay you write. So always check the school to see. Some schools don't mind, like some maybe after was like even a month after the close of the Commonwealth scholarship, they can also allow you. Some give specific deadline, so always try to check with the school. It's very important.
Oh yeah, that's very right. Thank you so much. How can I apply for admission to the UK schools? I'm not sure about this, but you first of all, you have to be sure that the university you intend applying for, like the one listed on the Commonwealth Shared website, some would not want you to apply for admission directly. They just want you to probably fill a form. So you should go to the university webpage first to even find out that information. And how do you apply? If you need to apply for admission, every university, they have like a prompt on their website that talks about admission, apply now. So you just have to follow the link and follow the step, follow everything step by step. Can I use my student copy of transcripts? Definitely yes. I'm also applying for MSc Biotechnology. The Sustainable Development Goal is quite difficult to write well. That's where the place of hard work and personal research comes into play. And the YouTube, the link to this webinar would also be made available. I believe the speakers have done a good job trying to explain how to write each of these essay sections. So you can go over and over it again. We also did the same thing. I watched a particular YouTube video while I was trying to apply during the application period. So you don't have to watch it just once. You can go over and over it again. Must we apply for university admission before the deadline, 14th December, while still applying for the Commonwealth? So it depends. I think sometimes it depends on the university. You just have to confirm this information from the university website. Okay, someone said, I am a microbiology graduate applying for biotechnology, but employment-wise, I work as a UI UX developer in a bank. Please, what should I do? Because it is obvious that they aren't related. Mercy.
Yeah, it's obvious that they are not related, except you can find a tie. Like if you think there's something you have done in the past, like internship positions and all that, and you can still write a very good story, I think you'll be good. It's just that you won't include that in your CV, because if you are writing an academic CV for graduate programs, you want to write something relevant to what you intend to apply for. So if you've taken internship positions and everything, good, you can include that. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. And I was just thinking that in addition to what Mercy said, you can, if there is a way you can link up the two, maybe microbiology and tech or something, I really don't know, but you can. But if you feel like you want to focus more on the UI UX, probably you have other certifications that you have taken in addition. You just have to know how to sell yourself well in a way that they are going to be really convinced that even though you have a microbiology, maybe undergraduate certificate, but I don't know how many years work experience you currently have working as a UI UX developer in a bank. If it's what, like 5 years, and I think if you know how to sell yourself, you might just be good to go. And as a matter of fact, you can apply if you feel the microbiology is what you want to venture into. You just have to dedicate more time to do the microbiology. And if you also want to try the tech aspects, you are writing two different things, but if you are willing to put in the work, then that's good enough. Okay, someone said, I would like our facilitators to address issues related to English proficiency tests. Like, is it a must to write? If any one of you had written among facilitators before, can you share little experience on Samuel?
All right, I've never written an English language test, and I don't intend to write one. But the thing is, because obviously they have made it easier for people coming from English, like countries that are English their official language, like Nigerian, a host of others. So, if you during my time, what I did, some have that requirement for. I'm talking about admission, because for the Commonwealth they don't mind as far as the school can give you admission and nominate you, you're fine. So that's what. So I usually message the school to ask for waiver for that component, giving them my background and like attaching my documents. So, and some of the schools, in fact all the schools that had that requirement, they sent me a waiver and I applied, although it did not work then. But it's still fine. So if you don't have, like, if you have not written IELTS and all of that, that's an option you can explore, messaging the school for that, for like a waiver, and they should, except it's a black and white rule, then obviously you have nothing to do than to just leave that application for another.
Okay, thank you so much, Samuel. Someone else said, what happens if you gain an offer from one of the participating schools before getting feedback from Commonwealth? So, Mercy?
Yeah, if you've gotten an offer, then you just have to wait for the Commonwealth scholarship, or also reach out to them that, okay, you apply for the Commonwealth scholarship and you're here to get, a nomination email, as regards that. Yeah. You can always send email. Those guys are really happy to help. So send email to them that, okay, this is my plan. I cannot sponsor myself. Waiting for the nomination form as regards the Commonwealth scholarship. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mercy. I Comfort Samuel. I graduated with a 2-1, 4.13 out of 5.00 in biology. Do I stand a good chance of being awarded a scholarship at Biotech University of Chester? Well, I really do think yes. It depends on, like I said, how you sell yourself, and I feel biology is a very good course that will qualify you to apply for biotechnology, and 2-1 is a good one. It's just that, like Mercy shared, that we have the Commonwealth has like selection criteria. It's possible that you could have maybe good work experience, good essays, good development essays, and all of that. But if they need to cut out people, there's a high possibility that they might want to consider grades later on. But irrespective, we have lots of people with 2-1 who have been awarded a Commonwealth shared scholarship. So you shouldn't give up on yourself. You definitely don't want to say, oh, do I stand a good chance? Yeah, you stand a good chance, and just go ahead and apply. It's better than applying than not even making any attempt at all. Yeah, I don't know if someone has anything to add to that.
You study biology. Obviously, that's perfect. Perfect. It's it's related to the course you are coming to, so it's not a transition really. It's the same. Then, looking at the scholarship application, it's an entire process. It's not just grade. Yeah, there are people that have first class and they were rejected. People that have 2 and were accepted. So it's an entirety. Look at it as a whole package. Your grades, academic performance, your essay, the quality of your essay, and everything is just so you are good to go with 2-1 biology, biotech. Perfect. Apply, give it the best shot you got.
Thank you so much, Samuel. Someone asked, please, can I number my essays, or is it okay to write together? For example, the development impact essay, the question was in ABC. Should I answer by numbering too? Well, I didn't number any of the questions while I was writing mine. I just wrote each of the answers like in paragraphs, as long as the answer was passing across a particular idea, it stands alone in a paragraph. Or what do you guys think, Mercy and Samuel?
I think it's an essay, obviously. So I don't see it appropriate to be numbering stuff. What they just want to see is those components. They want to see it in your essay. So how you how you explain it is your style, but ensure that those components they are looking for are within your essay in paragraphs. Yeah.
All right, thank you. And someone asked, please talk about how I think the goals or something can be measured. It's not clear. I think that might be the part where Mercy talked about during a presentation, measuring the maybe development impact, or is it the goals?
Yeah. So I talked about you are measuring the goals, I think it's how your inputs can be best measured. I think that's
Yeah, I think that
something
should be
about.
it.
Yeah, so measured. So like I said, you have to think about um the results of your projects. You have not started the project, you've not started the master's program, either. So, but then you want to think, since you're thinking about problem solving, so what then would be, the impact of you been trying to, solve a problem and all that. So you have to, okay, to be measured based on maybe the research papers you have published, or maybe the schools, the outreaches and all that. So it's like you're thinking about results and then trying to write that in as trying to write that to answer that prompt. Yeah. So when you're talking about how best it could be measured, you want to think about your results. You want to think about outcomes and what you think you would have done. Do you understand? To solve that problem. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mercy. Okay. On to the next question. Is there a caveat of or maybe for returning to your home country after the program? Oh yeah, it's clearly stated, and you would sign the documents. CSC demands that you go back to your country when your program ends. That's within 1 month of your program, if I clearly remember. Yeah, so I guess that explains it. And can undergraduates apply? I would say yes, you can apply as long as you know you will be graduating right before you would resume for the scholarship. That's most likely when you're in your final year. So if you're in 400 level and you know you have an extra year, I don't think it's wise to actually apply. But if you're in your final year and you'll be graduating like really soon, then just give it a shot. In stating the objective, is it okay to put them in numbering format? This question has been answered already. When applying to 3 schools in the same CSC course team, is it wise I paraphrase the essay write-up? I would say it's okay as long as it's linked and it's kind of the same course. For example, when I was applying, I had my bachelor's in crop science, so I was definitely looking out for courses in agri, food security, sustainable agriculture, biotechnology. And also, I think I applied to 4 schools, and 3 of these schools were somewhat related. Food security was relating to sustainable agriculture, and I think the last was something about food sustainability. I can't remember, and biotechnology. So biotechnology was somehow like a little bit different from the rest. You don't have to write exactly the same thing, but if you probably have the same similar goals and all that you want to achieve. So, and there are different universities. So I think it's fine to probably use the same ideas. Or what do you think, Samuel?
Yeah, it's perfect. Like when I applied this, I just had one specific thing I wanted to address. So I was just looking for programs in that area. So I just made
Perfect.
one one essay write-up. That was the major thing. The rest I was just tailoring it to the program and the school. So yeah, except you have different interests that are varying. Maybe you have interest in food security, you have interest in cancer, you have interest. So that will be a lot of stress for you. But if you are targeting one particular thing, then just fine tune your essay to suit each program.
Thank you so much. Someone asks, I want to know if it is okay to add experiences of both as a student and a worker. Also, will experience not related to studies be key, like vice president of Young Catholic Students and an actors member and campus magazine editor? Samuel, I don't know if you got that question.
Yeah, I understand the question. Like the thing, like I've always said, if you don't have related experience, but you have other experience, what is transferable from that experience? So how will you
Mm,
explain it that you would put yourself as someone that is passionate and like if you're talking about I think he's talking about the volunteering
yes, and
leadership.
leadership, yes.
Yeah, so if you have that experience, you should be able to describe what you did, your involvement, and the specific outcome which you achieved. That's what they want to know. They want to see that, oh, you have been passionate, you have a track record of being passionate. So when you are given this opportunity, there's a likelihood that you will also continue in that line. So it mustn't be related to the program exactly. Except you have them, then use them. But if you don't, use the one you've got.
All right. Thank you so much, Samuel. Yes, the recording will be sent to everyone who registered, and you can always check my YouTube channel and just check for Commonwealth Shared Scholarship webinar. And some questions are not clear here. Okay. Do we need to write 3 SDG goals? I'm not sure if what this question mean per se, but I think Messi addressed the part of the sustainable development goals. And the thing is, you don't have to write a specific number. If your course or the problem that you're trying to solve for example, it depends on the problem you're trying to solve and what solution you're preferring. So if, for example, I'm in sustainable agriculture and I think that I want to solve a particular problem, I have to check what sustainable development goals this kind of relates to. So I think the ones I kind of focused on while I was writing was majorly zero hunger and no poverty. I chose no poverty because I also considered that one of my courses was under the Global Prosperity Sustainable CSC development team. So you have to also like check out for that. So you could write, even if it's just one SDG, two or three, as long as they are truly like relating. So I guess that answers that. And my proposed course is starting in January 2024. Can I still apply to the course? Mercy?
What did you say? Can what?
My proposed course is starting in January 2024. Can I still apply to the course?
Yes, as long as it's still January 2024. I'm not sure. Is the course under Commonwealth? Like,
Yeah,
is it an
that's the most important thing.
Is it an
Mm.
approved course? So you need to ask yourself those questions. Is it an approved course, for the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship? And is that university part of the participating universities? So as long as it meets this, as long as you're able to say yes for these questions, then why not apply? So yeah.
Thank you so much, Mercy. Someone asked if you got admission already in a university that is not listed, can you go ahead and apply again? I don't know what you mean applying again. Is it applying to the school again or applying to Commonwealth? So if the university is not listed on Commonwealth shared scholarship, except you have another means to fund yourself, then you can go ahead with the university that gave you admission already. But if you are truly seeking to apply and get funded by the CSC, then I think you have to look for schools that are actually approved. Thank you. And I would love to ask if Commonwealth waives application fees to apply to the university we have chosen to apply to. I don't know, but I feel like most UK universities do not require application fees, but I could be wrong. And if you need to pay application fee, I don't think Commonwealth will take care of that. Or maybe, I don't know, I haven't really encountered any university that required me to pay application fee. I don't know if someone Messi have any idea on this.
Yeah, I think majorly most of the schools do not ask for application fee normally. Yeah, a few does. I encountered one or two during my time, so I had to message them. I was always messaging them, telling them, okay, I'm applying to the Commonwealth so and so, because I think that one, I had to like pay the fee before I submit. So the option they gave was that they will pen my application, it will be pending. So when the outcome is out and I'm awarded, then they will just waive it for me. But unfortunately, it wasn't. So I was asked to pay, and I gave them goodbye. So is if they have application fee, just reach out to the school and tell them you're applying for the scholar. They will give you what to do. Or if they say no, then you have to just leave them if you want, or pay.
Thank you so much, Samuel. Yeah, so how long does it take to get admission from schools? Well, I think it roughly takes 8 weeks, if I'm right, 2 months thereabout. But honestly, you shouldn't worry yourself about that. Just stick with the application deadline for the scholarship and application deadline for the admission, and follow every prompt that they are giving you. You could have maybe like an a conditional offer that requires you to submit extra documents. Just go ahead to provide. You shouldn't worry yourself about when they are going to get back to you. The most important thing is submit all of your application within the stipulated deadline. Must you return back to your home country? Definitely yes. Are there instances where one gets admission from a school without being awarded a scholarship? Oh, that's very much possible. I think then in University of Chester's, we had colleagues who applied for the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship and they weren't awarded the scholarship, but they got admission. So it's possible that some schools or some universities might be willing to, maybe they have like, university specific scholarships that might not be fully funded. They would probably suggest these scholarships to you. And if you're interested and you think you might just be able to fund yourself partially, then maybe that's a good option too. Can I apply even when my passport is not ready yet? I don't think so. I think you need your passport for CSC website. Samuel, please, could you confirm that?
I think basically I've seen some people that use their national ID as far as it
Okay.
has your photo, date of birth, and they prove that you are a citizen of that country or maybe refugee status. I think that's what the CSC is looking at the point of application. Yeah, with time they'll still ask you for passports and document to submit. But at application stage, if it has this, they especially mentioned it, either your passport or national ID. So
Okay. Thank you so much. Can we get the slides used? I don't know if Mercy and Sam are willing to provide the slide. Maybe I could just attach
um
them.
I would
Huh?
yeah. I have this slide. Do you
Okay.
how do you want to share that though? I send it to you, right?
I'll, yeah, you send it to me. I could just, put them like in a Google Drive and share the link in
Okay.
addition to the recording or something.
Yeah, that's perfect. I'm more than happy to provide mine.
Oh, thank you so much. Someone said I was the one who had to admission mentioned, and I need to help. I don't think this is a question. Um, what can someone that study law apply? I think you just have to check. I think that's just one of the limitation of the Commonwealth shared scholarships. You probably don't have like the opportunity to select a particular course in any university of your choice. So you just have to abide by the approved universities that are listed, on the Commonwealth shared scholarship website. So you just have to really check, and you have to check some of these, courses might not be giving names that will spell out law like explicitly. Then you have to maybe go to the university website and check what the content of that particular program is about, and check if you think it's something you would enjoy and you are qualified to apply for. Please, I had already applied to a particular university during Chevening scholarship, and the course of study is similar to what I want to study for Commonwealth scholarship. Do I need to reapply to the school since I didn't choose Commonwealth scholarship as my sponsor during the initial application? I think you have to go back again to the Commonwealth Share Scholarship web page of that university to see what the requirements are. If they don't require you to, apply again, I think the previous application should suffice. And in addition to that, they might even be expecting you to like submit a particular application for Commonwealth share, because I think for University of Chester, if I remember well, was it Chester? We had to fill in, was it Chester or another school I applied to? We had to fill in like a particular form separately and answer some
Yeah,
essay questions. Was it Chester?
yeah.
Okay,
500
yeah.
words.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I also think for Cranfield University, because I also applied to Cranfield University. So I guess both for Chester and Cranfield, we had to submit like extra application just for the scholarship. And Cranfield specifically told us not to apply for admission if you are considering Commonwealth share. So I think that was just like reduce the number of admission applications they will be receiving for their hand and all of that. So you have to consider that. Please, I already applied to a particular university during Chevening. Oh, I think that's the same question. Oh, I was also left. Okay. Please, how do I get the university to nominate me? After I got an unconditional admission with the University of Stirling, I messaged their postgraduate department, but they referred me to the Commonwealth website. Please, is there really no process to go through in the school except applying for admission and the Commonwealth? Should I sit back and wait? don't sit back and wait. You have to do something, right? So if like I said, if you've sent a message to the university and they are referring you back to Commonwealth website, then it means that you just have to apply. Probably the university doesn't have like extra requirements, but you have to still go back and check, because I believe each university on their scholarship webpage, they will state the scholarships that are available, and Commonwealth Share Scholarship will be listed. Then you see how to apply. So some universities truly do not have extra requirements, and they just put the link to the Commonwealth Shared website, and you just have to follow that instruction and apply for Commonwealth Shared Scholarship like fully as stated on the CSC website. Then can a school nominate you for the CSC? I think it's a school that will definitely nominate you.
Yeah.
Or am I getting that question wrong? Samuel or
Yeah,
Messi.
it's the school that does the nomination. They nominate you,
Okay.
the CSC, then the CSC confirms the award. That's the way it works.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Um, Someone said, Mr. Samuel, which documents do you attach to get a waiver for English proficiency?
okay, what I do basically, I said I'm from like a country that whose official language is blah blah blah, is English language, and I tell them about my CGPA, just a few of that. Then I just attach my certificates and transcript to just prove buttress my point. Yeah, I think
Oh,
those are the two major ones.
that's perfect.
Then
Thank
for
you.
that English
Okay.
proficiency again, sorry, I think two of the schools I applied for, they accepted if I can get a document from my school stating my program was entirely taught in English language. So that was another.
Mm.
So I got those are the two ways I went about schools that required um IELTS and all of those stuff.
All right, thank you so much. We still have a couple of questions. Someone said there is a section for certificate uploading, but what should undergraduate students upload in there? Like I said, if you're applying, you should have your statement of results or notification of results, or even if it's a student transcript, that's what you can use. So, and this should be for, I think, students that have graduated, right? Well, I don't think Samuel, undergraduates in final year, definitely you should have something you should be able to upload. That's like a very big requirement, right?
Yeah, I think with you can just get like the transcript of the ones you've
Mm,
completed already. Yeah, I think that should do. That should do because
okay.
you have not graduated yet, so you wouldn't have an official certificate to present yet. So you can just
Mhm.
attach your transcript. Then if you can get maybe a notification from maybe a head of department or so that you are currently on this CGPA or something like that, so you can attach it at that section. But the thing is, ensure that you would have graduated and you'd have completed your program and ready to start by September of 2024. It's very important. If you are not ready by then everything will be a waste because they can't confirm your award.
Oh yeah, sure. That's a very good one. Thank you so much. Before I go ahead to read out other questions, I think someone Obashola has been raising up his, and so I would allow him to ask his question. Yeah, you can go ahead to ask your question.
Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Please, can
Yeah,
you
good
confirm?
evening. We can hear you. Go ahead,
Oh,
please.
okay. Thank you so much for the wonderful presentation and for the update. I must really confirm that it's a nice idea from all the previous scholars. It's a nice idea. My question is as regarding the undergrad. I'm the one asking the undergraduate issue so far. Presently, I'm an undergraduate student of Ahmad Bello University, currently studying accounting, and my key interest is relating to economics. I'm currently on a CGPA of 4.89. However, when I go through the portal, I noticed there is a section where they require for certificate, and I don't know what to put in there. That's the first question. And secondly, you said if we are applying to different schools, we need to submit different applications. So I will need more clarification on that. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Someone just explained your first question, and if I'm right, he said you should reach out to your university if they can like provide a letter stating that you know this is your current CGPA. And I think from your university website, also your university portal, you should be able to download your previous transcripts. And like you said, you should apply or should consider applying as long as you would be available to start your program in the UK by September, or depending on when your course that you are willing to apply to in the UK will be starting. And the second question, can you remind me the second question again? Sorry.
I think the question is about how you want to apply for multiple. Okay, in terms of multiple applications, if I get you correctly, is if you're applying for the CSC scholarship, it means, and you have multiple programs you're interested in, you will complete a separate application for each of them, like I described on the slide. When you are done with one, you submit, then you go on to start new application, then you fill in all the the documents and the requirements again to the end, you submit, you start another. So if you have three programs you're applying for the Commonwealth Share Scholarship, it means you're going to create three separate tabs within one application account you've got and apply for each of them separately. That's what I mean. Then if it comes to admission, it means you are going to, after doing that, you still apply to the school for admission in those programs. I think those are the pattern really.
Thank you so much, Samuel. God bless you. God bless you. Okay, I hope that's has clarified your question. Yeah. So can I just apply to one school? Oh yeah, definitely. It's just your choice and what you really want to do. You have the chance to even apply to as many as 30 universities, like on the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship page. So it depends on what you really want. Please, do we have access to recording? Definitely yes. I would be sharing the link. On my CV and in my application, I had teaching experiences and I'm applying for food security. Is it okay, especially for my admission? I don't know if Mercy is still around, please.
Sorry, please repeat the question.
On my CV and in my application, I added teaching experiences and I'm applying for food security. Is it okay, especially for my admission?
Okay, yeah. So, teaching experience is grad school, right? You're applying to grad school. Teaching experiences, I don't think it's bad. I think adding that to your CV, yeah, I don't think that is bad. But then just make sure that all that you're saying and everything aligns with all that we have mentioned. So you write, let's say you want to convince them that you need the money. You understand that you need sponsorship for that program. So you write like you need the money urgently. You get. So write constructively, let it be well written, and have a good academic CV. You can add teaching experiences to it because you're going to grad school. Yeah. But don't put in something that are not relevant to your field or to what you intend to do.
Oh, thank you so much, Mercy. Another question says, can I fund my tuition with a different source if in case I miss out on CSC? I think so, yes, as long as I don't know what you mean by a different source. Are you asking if there are maybe like other scholarship opportunities? For that, you definitely have to check the university website and check if there are other scholarships that you could apply for, whether fully funded or partial, from other external sources. And if you think you want to sponsor yourself, you're good to go. please go ahead. And must the referee be two academic referees, and can my husband be a referee? Samuel.
Okay. I think there are three that you need to fill in. So two can come from your academic. One can be from academic, one from work, then one like a personal reference, but not your husband or family member. Maybe someone of high standing in the community that knows you personally, that can talk about your character and passion and all of that, but not someone personal. It's even stated it's not a personal, like your husband cannot write. So it mustn't be two academic reference, but one must come from academic background. Then if you have worked, one can come from your work area, then can have a personal character reference from someone of high stand in the community. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Samuel. Thank you. Are we submitting the reference before 14th? Definitely yes, but let me just point out, except I don't think Commonwealth has, I don't think they've changed their approach. You just need to provide the names of these people, and Commonwealth to be written when you have been nominated. So that's like
Yeah.
the final stage, right? To confirm your award. Yeah, so you definitely have to submit their names and their contacts in the application before the 14th of December. Is University of Glasgow and University of Wales included in the Commonwealth scholarship? You have to check this yourself. So, and each university could be listed multiple times for different courses. For example, University of Glasgow definitely might be offering the food security course. And in addition to that, maybe they're also offering public health. University of Chester could also be offering biotechnology, and at the same time they're offering public health or maybe food and nutrition or something. So you just have to go back to, the Commonwealth website, check the list of courses and list of schools available. Thank you.
Yeah, I think I provided the link to that on my third slide, the first link
Okay.
there. So you can just go
Yeah.
there directly. It will not take you to the courses and the respective universities that are taking them. So
Yes. Thank you so much, Samuel. And please, can I get any links to samples of essays specifically as a guide? Well, for me, I do not have any links. I don't know if Samuel has.
I'm sorry, I didn't get I was distracted.
Sorry, that's fine. They're asking for specific links to samples of essays. I haven't seen any links to essays, for the CSC scholarship.
I don't have links to that, to be honest. The thing is,
All
with all
right.
of this explanation and all, it's just help you um uh, to like just write an essay. There's really no hard and fast rule about it if you just follow the. And personally, I feel like samples distract people's mind a lot. So yeah, I don't really advise that, but I don't have that to give.
All right, thank you so much. Someone said, as regard referees, I mistakenly put the mentor's detailed. I tried changing by resubmitting it. Did change, and I was sent printout PDF which indicated the effect I made. How sure is this correction? I'm sure your correction is very sure, so be rest assured. And I studied biochemistry as an undergraduate. Is it a good fit to apply for biotechnology? Definitely yes. I had colleagues who, I think Samuel was also biochemistry, right? If I'm right. So
Yeah, I studied back. It's a perfect match. There's nothing to
yeah.
work.
Okay, let me see if we have more questions. Is Commonwealth scholarship opened all year round? Definitely no. It's usually opened like at specific time of the year, usually around November. It closes December. The only change was, I think during COVID, and it was opened like the year after. So you just have to be on the lookout. So let me check the chat box again for other questions as we begin to round up. Mm, When are we going to get feedback from Commonwealth regarding the outcome of our application? Well, I think it's usually around the month of May, so maybe May 2024, or maybe before then or after then, but around that period is when you start getting, the emails that, oh, you've been nominated, or you have been rejected, or you have been kept on the reserve list, and all of that. So I think that's all the question. No, we have. Yeah. So
maybe
please, my last question.
yeah, if they have any, maybe you can
What's
put
like?
up your hands. So
What did you say, Samuel?
I said in case we've missed a question, they might put up their hands so we can
Oh,
maybe
yeah,
help.
that's a good idea. Please, in case you have more questions, put up your hand. And I'm trying to see, what if all my three referees are academic? Any problem? I think you need to provide one professional, one academic, and one personal referee.
Okay, I think here's the thing. My time, like I told you, they require one academic, one from your work, then one personal reference. That's what was stated on the CSC's website. Yeah, but my time, I used two academic referees because as at then I had one from where I worked previously. Yeah, but I couldn't get anyone to do like personal stuff. So what I did was to get two referees, one from my supervisor, then one from like a lecturer. So he commented on the academic part and all of that. Then my supervisor talked about my personality more, my attitude towards research and all of that. So that was what I did in my time. It worked perfectly. So it mustn't be that you have they might all come from academic, but ensure that they comment on different areas which the CSC want to see, not just academic. You get,
Yeah.
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 So that's what
That's
you
that's
have.
very
Obviously,
key.
you can't change it. That's what you use.
Thank you so much, Samuel. And before we pick the question from Obashola, I studied biology education. Can I apply for biotechnology? I think so, yes. After the nomination or acceptance, are there still other stages like no, there are no interviews with the Commonwealth Share Scholarship, but if you are applying to Commonwealth Masters, definitely you need to be interviewed. So, Bashala, you can go ahead to ask your question. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much once again. I'm very sorry for bothering you with such kind of question. You made mention of the reserve list. Can you please explain what they mean by the reserve list entirely? And secondly, when applying to schools, especially schools in the UK, is there any session where they require you to make it known to them that you are applying through the Commonwealth Share Scholarship Board, or how is that being sorted out? Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. For the reserved list, it's just like, you have so many persons that have applied to the scholarship, and based on, the ranking, maybe they need just 7 people that would come on board, and, you have like 1 to 10. So maybe 3 persons can be on reserved list, and 7, awards have been sent out. You have situations whereby people have applied to different universities, multiple applications. So it's possible that just one person can be getting as high as 4, 5 awards, and the person has to choose just one. So we would definitely have people who will be rejecting their awards from this university. So based on the ranking, when whoever is kept on the reserve list, if someone that has been nominated and granted the award says, okay, I'm no longer accepting this award. So if you're on the reserve list, you would be awarded depending on your ranking. And for the second question, where you asked if maybe universities would maybe keep a link separately for CSC application, I'm not sure if I get that right. You just have to check the web page. The instructions are usually there. Like for University of Chester, University of Greenfield University, just go to their scholarship page. Under their scholarship webpage, look for Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, and you would see the instruction they have. Like it's just as clear as crystal. They explain it like very clear. They will tell you the steps you're supposed to. Some of them will even give you guides on even how to answer your essay questions. Do you understand? So it's as very, very detailed as that. What you have to do is, in addition to the CSE website, go to the university's website under their scholarship webpage, check the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, link, and look for the instruction that is listed.
I think I get the question it's trying to ask though.
Okay.
Asking whether when you're applying for admission, they'll ask you whether you're applying for the scholarship. Yeah, that they always provide that.
Okay.
When you're applying for admission, they ask you how are you going to fund the program because they're always interested. It's a high income high country with high standard of and cost of living. So they'll ask you how you want to fund it. So they might leave a blank space. You can just type in that you are applying for the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. Then some will even give you like a drop down menu where you see that Commonwealth Scholarship is even there. You just select it. So it's as good as that. Then for the other question on interviews, it's a few schools that I've heard of, a few candidates that were interviewed after the application. That was before nomination. So they've had a couple of people they're interested in. I just sent them invites and they were interviewed and they were nominated. But after nomination, no, it's just full of joy. There's no stress.
Thank you so much. Sorry, I have to laugh out loud. Yeah. So I hope that answers your question, Obashola. And I guess we are done, with all of the questions. I can't see any question in the chat box anymore. And yeah, so that's it for today. I'm so grateful to everyone present here tonight, this evening, whatever the time is in the country that you are in at the moment. Thank you so much, Samuel. Thank you so much, Mercy, for your time. Let's just let them thank you in the chat box to show how grateful we are to them. And just like I said, I'll be putting up the recording of this webinar on my YouTube channel, including all the relevant links that you'll be needing. If I also have the time, I could, create a video to walk you through the process of filling out the form on the CSA website, and that's basically it. So I wish you guys all the best in your application and put in the work, trust God. That's kind of very, very much important. And we hope for the best in Jesus' name. Amen. So till we all meet again, do stay comforted.